Jeff Ashton was one of the lead prosecutors in this case. He is with us exclusively. Mr. Ashton, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Before I get to what Mr. Huchler just said, when you got notification yesterday the jury had reached a verdict after less than 11 hours of deliberation, what was your confidence level?
We were feeling pretty good. We felt like we'd presented a really strong case. We really didn't think that a not guilty verdict in that short a period of time was realistic, but that's the jury system.
There's this piece of videotape, Jeff, and I'm watching you in the court sitting at that table, and you're leaning back and your head is shaking, and it's stunned disbelief. Take me through the moment. What were your thoughts?
I think I mouthed the word wow about 5 times. We were all that shocked. I mean, you pour 3 years of your life into a case. As a prosecutor, you don't take a case unless you believe in it. We have great respect for the jury system and the rule of law, and you can't do what we do and not respect juries' verdicts. But it was not easy to hear, but we know we did a good job, and we accept what happened.
I was also watching your face just a moment ago when Russell Huchler was speaking to me, and he was laying out the reasons why he would have favored this verdict on the part of the jury, saying, I didn't get a cause of death, I didn't get a motive, nothing that got me to the point of beyond reasonable doubt. How do you react to that?
Our thought on it had always been that if anybody could look at the photographs of how Kaylee was found and not conclude how she died from that, then so be it. I mean, we felt that the manner in which her body was found, the odor in the car, all of those things. But there was no definitive expert who walked in the room and said, here is the cause of death. There was also no key witness who walked in and said, I saw that woman, and pointed at Casey Anthony. I saw that woman kill her daughter. Yeah, you're absolutely
and in a death penalty case, don't you need that?
Not necessarily. I mean, I've prosecuted probably 80 murder cases in my career and probably a couple of dozen death penalty cases, and they're frequently circumstantial. There's rarely a witness. Now, usually you do have a more definitive cause of death. Now, that's absolutely right. But this was a case where we honestly felt that the evidence was such that if the jury saw what we saw, that it was the kind of case that they needed to decide penalty. So we felt good about what we did.
Did you also expect the jury, this is the question I asked Mr. Huchler, did you expect the jury to say, wait a minute, this mother didn't report this for over 30 days, she went out partying, she lied to investigators, she must have had a reason to lie. Did you expect them to connect those dots?
We did. We felt that was one of the strongest pieces of evidence that we had in the case, was that her actions, we felt, and obviously the jury didn't agree and we respect their opinion, was just so completely inconsistent with any kind of accidental explanation for the death. So,
a couple of things about Jose Baez, the defense attorney. There was tension. There's no question in this courtroom between you and him. What did he do well?
I thought that he did cross-examination well. I thought he presented himself very well. Jose is a relatively young lawyer in terms of his years of experience. I think he's got great potential to be a great lawyer. But I thought he presented himself very, very well.
In his opening statement, he made some dramatic accusations, saying this was an accidental death, that Kaylee died drowned in the swimming pool, that George Anthony helped cover it up, that George molested Casey from a young age. He then presented not one shred of evidence to back up any of those claims. Did he act ethically? I
think he I don't want to say, because I don't know what he expected to be able to prove at trial.
Should the judge have allowed it to happen that way?
Yes.
Did he have any choice?
No, the judge had no choice. I mean, for all we know, Casey's testimony was part of the plan, and that she changed her mind. I mean, we just don't know. Those communications are private between them. So I assume that he said that because he honestly believed that he could prove it, and then something changed and it wasn't presented.
So if I were to look at you in the face right now and say, did Kaylee Anthony die accidentally in the family swimming pool, you would say?
I cannot believe that's what happened. But again, beyond a reasonable doubt is a high standard. And, the jurors may have thought as I do, but beyond a reasonable doubt is a high standard, and I respect the fact that they, applied the law to the case as they saw it.
Two quick things. Cindy Anthony took the witness stand and said things that now appear to be untrue.
Yes.
All right. You are leaving your post, but
Correct.
Do you think there will be legal action taken against Cindy Anthony for perjuring herself on the witness stand?
I think there could be. That'll be a decision made by another branch of our office. And
would you pursue the case if you were staying in office?
I don't. I honestly don't know. That would be a very, very difficult decision to make. As a prosecutor, I've been a prosecutor for 30 years. I hate to say this, but you're somewhat accustomed to family members trying to help their fellow family members. So you're kind of used to that. This, of course, was a rather important,
grievous
deception, if you will, that obviously was proven to be so by the other evidence. What they do with it is going to be a difficult decision that I'm glad I don't have to make.
Briefly, I mentioned you're leaving your post. This was planned. You delayed retirement to take on this case. Will this always? This is not the way you wanted it to end.
Well,
will this always be the one that got away?
No. I mean, I've actually had cases that I will be more upset about people getting away than this one. I mean, this was a great case for me to end my career as a prosecutor with, because it was so fascinating and so varied and so complex. I mean, it was a prosecutor's dream in terms of presenting it. So, no regrets on any of that.
And do you think we'll ever know what happened to Caylee Anthony?
No, we never will. We never will. Because even if Casey got out of jail and wrote a book and said it, I don't know that any of us would really know if we could believe it or not. So,
Jeff Ashton, Mr. Ashton, thank you for honoring your commitment and being here this morning. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Good luck.
Thank you for having me.